Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm Linda.
I'm Charles.
I'm Seth, and this is Pixel.
And I'm Jenna.
And we got to see
Just
Seth and Pixel dancing this time for the intro.
Love me, Seth. Aww.
So welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about kind of a potpourri of things here. And I'm going to throw it over to Seth, since he's obviously getting his head licked. And no, that's not a euphemism.
Oh, boy.
No more!
All right, Seth.
So, Father, you must be clean.
Right. Seth, tell us about Magic the Gathering, the one card or the one ring. What's going on there?
Oh, Magic the Gathering is releasing a Lord of the Rings themed set. Cats. Sorry, listeners. He wants attention right now. Anyway, Magic the Gathering is releasing a Lord of the Rings themed set called Tales of Middle-earth. And as part of that set, they are releasing a bunch of limited edition cards. Like, there's going to be just normal ring cards that you can find and use, but there's only going to be the one ring. And let me share my screen here so you can all see. Oops. Nope, that's not it. Share screen. They have added options. There we go. So this, once it comes up, is going to be
Ooh, that looks sweet.
One of a kind double foil ring that is one of one, written in Elvish, and like I said, there's only going to be one.
So how do you have a chance at securing one of those cards? The one card.
It's going to be in collector's sets.
So you have
collector's packs.
You have to buy a collector's pack and then hope you get lucky and get it.
Yeah.
And if you do get lucky, what do you think it's going to be worth, Seth?
There's no telling what it's going to be worth. There's already people making offers of $50,000 for someone to throw it in a volcano.
Really?
Oh, God.
Oh my God. That is awesome.
It's gonna suck if someone just like puts it in a card protector and mounts it on a wall somewhere and it's never actually used in gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, you have to throw this. If you've got it, you have to throw it out in gameplay at least.
You better.
And then you laugh maniacally. Like, they have to let you laugh maniacally. Also coming are special rings of power. So these are going to be also limited sets. They're soul rings, basically. If you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, there's a card called Soul Ring. It's a 1-cost artifact that you tap for 2 mana. It's in every commander set, but they're going to theme these around, I believe there's going to be 900 that represent the rings of men, 700 that represent the rings of dwarves, and 300 that represent the rings of the elves. And there's it's just a kind of a fun limited edition thing where if you get one of these, you're just going to be like, holy cow, it's so cool. I'm selling it immediately. Daddy wants a new 3D printer.
Yeah.
So are you going to buy some of these packs and hope to get lucky, Seth?
I understand math well enough that I'm not going to go searching for the one ring. There's somebody out there who's probably planning on the ring, the one ring, bringing in $100,000 or so, and he's going to spend $90,000
to get
on
it.
collector's packs trying to find it.
Right.
And I'm not going to do that. I'll buy a couple collector's packs, maybe.
Yeah.
I just have Willy Wonka's golden ticket going through my head.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Feels like feels proper for this scenario.
It does. All right. Cool.
Well, now Seth, before we move on, hasn't there been some like a controversy over some of these cards in this set now because of changing the skin colors of some of the characters?
Oh yeah, they revealed a card with Aragorn and oh man, names? I'm just bad at names. Eowyn? No.
Yes.
Arwen.
Some
Arwen. Aragorn and Arwen. So they released. If I could have found a picture of that, it would have been great. Yeah, Aragorn and Arwen, they released a picture or a card of them, and it shows that Aragorn had. Hold on. Shares. I've got it now. Share screen. There. Go. So. You can see how this is gonna make some of the shittier nerds angry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
I know, right? How dare they? They made Aragorn black.
A person of color. Yes.
Which
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like I don't care. I think it's rad. It looks like a good piece of art, and people are gonna just get so butthurt over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take their cards. I mean, specifically, I will take this card and put it in my Saproling deck because it would make it wrong and awful.
All right. All right.
Yeah, it's interesting, the gatekeepers on some of this stuff. As I'm kind of like with you, so I'm like, who cares? It's, let's honor all the nerds.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, specifically, even like Aragorn is of the race of Numenor, the ancient men.
Right.
And
like Linda and I.
Oh
no, you're just ancient.
I'm just what? I didn't hear you.
I said you're just
That's
ancient.
I still didn't get it. You're what?
You're obviously hard of hearing as well. So
Well, no,
No, it
because Jenna
didn't come
started
through.
speaking and it cut you out.
I said you're just ancient.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Well,
rude.
that's fair.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's fair.
All right. Well, cool. This looks like some fun stuff coming out with Magic the Gathering for sure. So
Oh, yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that one ring card value increases, or if it's ever found. I suppose it could maybe never even be found, right?
That's a
Just sit
possibility. Like, I mean, they are selling them in like the collector like packs, so I'm guessing they're going to print far fewer of them. And with a prize like the one ring, they're going to keep selling as long as that thing is out, or no one's found it. But I mean, what if you got the one ring and then you were just like Gollum and never told anyone, and just
My
just
precious.
looked at it every night, and you were just like, it's mine,
Right.
my precious.
That would be the way to do it for sure. All right. Well, let's jump into kind of a similar vein here. Magic. We'll talk a little bit about Shadow and Bone. Season 2 has just started, and Linda and I just we're one episode in so far. I think the second episode's out at least. They might all be out. It's Netflix, right? So I think they released the whole series. But yeah, it looks pretty good this season so far. For those of you that haven't watched Shadow and Bone, it's basically a universe. Consists of a number of nations. And, the whole series, I kind of like to think of it almost like, not quite like Harry Potter, but that type of thing, only if it were to take place in Eastern Europe, right? So they've got a bunch of different lands, and each of these lands has elements of language and culture and traditions from countries of the real world, drawn on real world time periods. So it's composed. There's these individuals called Grisha, which are a people that have been described as magic users. And they're practitioners of what's called the small science, which reflects an individual's gift each holds to manipulate matter at its smallest molecular level. So there's some of them that can manipulate fire, and some that are called heart renders, where they can control your heart or your blood flow or whatever. And some control like the winds, and they're responsible for making these giant land yachts essentially move through an area of the world called the Fold, which has been magically created and is this dark, obscure area. If you go into it, it's filled with these horrible monsters, but it's the only way to get between certain areas of the world to travel through this zone. So you have to travel through, and you have to have people there to help protect you as you go through on these giant land yachts, and you have somebody that's controlling the winds to propel the ship through the area, because you don't want to have to walk through it or try to ride a horse through it manually. It's really an interesting world, and I love the characters and the character development. Lots of unique characters and lots of different story veins going on there that keeps your interest. So season 1 was really great, and season 2's kicked off with a big bang. So if you haven't watched it yet, I encourage you to get out there and check it out, especially if you're a fan of magic shows like Harry Potter or some of the other ones that are out there. So
no, I avoided season 1 because I'm tired of Netflix's bullshit of leaving cliffhangers and then not renewing the season. So now that there is actually a second season, I'll probably pick up the first and go from there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Linda and I like it. We have a couple of friends. We come over on Friday nights and we catch up on the latest episodes. So it's good watching, and we're all kind of hooked on it now. So I'm glad Netflix has chosen to keep it going. I love the costuming and the way the stories are starting to weave and connect. So it's really good, really entertaining. So that's that. And then I wanted to talk about something in the real world that's almost like teleportation technology realized. It's not really teleportation technology, but it feels like it. So, we've seen, Amazon's been talking about using drones to deliver packages to people for a long time. We haven't really seen that realized yet. And mostly I think that's because, I just can't envision a successful delivery system where you've got these drones with high-speed propellers landing in people's yards, and the noise and the risk to animals running up to see what's going on. And
they don't land though. They don't land though, right? They
no, the Amazon. I'm talking about I'm talking about
The
the
originals.
Amazon's delivery system that Amazon's been talking about for years. So
okay. I thought Amazon had the one with the string that came down. And,
no.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but there's this new company out called Zipline, and they've got a system that they're actually already using. Now, what you're seeing here in the picture is one that's being used here, I think, in limited trials in certain areas of the U.S. already. And you can actually get on, if they're available in your area, you can order something and have it delivered to your house. And it basically gets delivered by drone. The drone flies overhead, and then it lowers this little autonomous, semi-autonomous
It's
vehicle
basically
like
a
you see
mothership.
there. What's that, Seth?
It's basically a mothership that's up above.
Right. And so it lowers down this other little drone thing that's got kind of its own little fan propellers on it to kind of orient it and keep it straight, because you could obviously have trying to do this in windy conditions, and it can pretty much land right on a bullseye. It uses military grade GPS so that it can, find a precise position and hit the mark with pinpoint accuracy. And what it does, it lowers this package, this other semi-autonomous type drone, lowers it down, and it opens its bomb bay doors and drops off whatever package that you're looking for. Now, they're also using this in areas, other countries like Nigeria, where they're using it to deliver needed supplies to hospitals. And I saw there's a video out on YouTube that shows this being used, which is where Seth and I first came across it, I think. And they're essentially, they've got two facilities there in the country. One's in the north, one's in the south, and whatever hospital can get on there and send a request for either blood or plasma or medicine. And these come in, and they're launching these drones out with these medical packages about once every 90 seconds. They send a drone out, and they basically package it up, put it into the drone. The drone gets launched, and the drone can be there in, I think it's like 20 minutes versus a car ride because of the road conditions and
with a range of hundreds of miles.
Yeah. 150 miles, I think, round trip is what the drones are able to do. But the car ride there, the guy who was doing the video, he showed the launching of the drones, and then he took a car ride to the nearest hospital where they were sending these drones to, and it took him almost 4 hours to get there. But the drone can get there in like 20 minutes. And they said these drones and this technology being able to deliver emergency blood and plasma has reduced maternal fatalities by 88%. The mother gives birth, the loss of blood, they have to do a transfusion. And by having these, being able to, the physician to get on the phone and call up and have this blood delivered within 20 minutes has saved quite a few lives. So, and they actually interviewed some of the people that have had their lives saved by this technology. There's an example of the planes that are delivering this medicine and the plasma. Go ahead, Jenna.
Just curious though, how long before these things start getting shot down because people want what's on them?
Well,
yeah, I don't know. It would be hard to know what was actually it was carrying at that time. I mean, you could shoot it down and it could be plasma or blood.
Plus, I mean, the payload is for a single person, and if you're gonna shoot down something moving that fast, I think you're gonna put more money into it than you'd get out of it from the just enough medicine. Like the ones that we're looking at right now seem like they're gonna be shot down a whole lot, especially in America.
Because guns,
Because guns. But one, you're going to have to be a pretty good shot because it's going to be a ways up.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing was they were talking to some of the physicians at the hospital, like, what do you think of these things? What do you think of the way they're delivered? So essentially the drone flies overhead and the bomb bay doors open and the package falls out and a parachute inflates and it lowers itself slowly to the ground that way in a specific area of the hospital where they've reserved for these drones to drop their payloads. And some of the doctors talked to said, well, I've actually never seen it happen. I've gotten a number of packages from them, but they're so quiet we never hear them. They just fly. They fly so far overhead, and they're very quiet. And they basically just open their doors, and the package just drops to the ground. And they go out. They get a text on their phone when it's been delivered, and they go out, and there it is. And they grab it. What's that?
I love living in the future.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
we'll send you the link to watch the video. It's by Mark Rober, the guy who does the anti-porch pirate videos. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
It's really good video.
We'll put that in the comments section of the video when we put it out. So
yeah, but like the first one that we saw, the one that Bill was talking about, where they're delivering medical supplies with it, they actually they keep the drones in pieces, and then they just like assemble them in the launcher, and then disassemble them when they come back. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of unique the way, not only the way that they launch them, but the way they retrieve them too. So they launch them, they put them on this like catapult, similar to what the way they launch aircraft on aircraft carriers. Which what it does, the catapult launches the thing at a high rate of speed to get it up to, I think it travels at 90 miles an hour, I think was the speed. And they
go faster than that.
It launches it at its cruising speed so that it has to use, because it's all battery powered. So that way it has to use less energy to get up to its cruising speed. It's already at its cruising speed as soon as it hits the air. And then when the thing comes back, there's not a big landing pad they need or anything. It basically, it approaches, and as it approaches, these two towers pull up this arrestor cable that comes up into the air and catches the drone, and the drone just gets caught on the cable and dangles down, and then they just come and they grab it, pull the wings off, pull the battery out, put a new battery in, put fresh wings on, and load whatever payload and put it back in the launcher for the next round. So it's really cool to watch, and amazingly an efficient operation. They were showing some of the behind the scenes about how long it took them to perfect the technology and how many people told them that it wasn't going to be viable, it wasn't going to be affordable, and all this kind of stuff. And they put them wrong. And the guy actually that's kind of behind it was educated here at Harvard, I think they said. But he was a part of the genocide that happened in that area, and his parents and siblings were all murdered. And actually, he himself got hit in the head with an axe or a hatchet or something, and because they were trying to murder him, but he managed to survive. And so he not only did he survive, but he went on to create this wonderful technology that's using to save so many other lives. So it's kind of cool the way stories like that turn out. So, but yeah, we'll put the link in there so people can see it. It's amazingly efficient, and I think that's probably the way Amazon should be looking at doing their deliveries. I don't know if this company has patented that system that they've got where they lower that separate vehicle down on a cable and have it drop your package. But
it's going to bring chimneys back into fashion.
Yes, right.
I'm just hoping that Amazon doesn't buy that company.
Yeah,
I know.
That would be really sad if they bought it and then they didn't use it for anything other than delivering their
I know.
stuff.
Because it sounds like it's needed for areas like that where they need high transport medical supplies or resources in a quick way that maybe doesn't have the infrastructure to allow that.
But they were also talking about how the drones that deliver via the zip line, that was going to reduce the number of delivery vehicles that needed to be out on the road and consuming fossil fuels, and put
They even talked about using it for like replacement for the way Uber Eats delivers food now. So you don't have to have all these cars on the road delivering food to people that are calling up and say, "Hey, I want a cheeseburger delivered." Now you have these rechargeable drones that delivered instead of a 2,000-pound automobile. You're paying for the fuel to run a 2,000-pound automobile to deliver a sandwich. Now you've got this small, lightweight drone.
It probably ran by a computer shortly.
Yeah, right.
So that'll be interesting what it does, because this used to be a really flexible way for people to make money, and now there will be no market for them to flexibly make money in this way anymore.
Right.
Plus,
capitalism.
It'll also eliminate a bunch of cardboard waste. So that would be nice.
Packaging and
because the drones that drop the little unit, they're usually packed with a paper bag as opposed to a box.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go.
Living in the future is fun.
Well, some bits of it.
True. Right.
So now that one more thing that impacts people's lives, at least in the area of Omaha, we are having our Japanese convention, Kanpai Con, here April 7th and I believe 8th. 7th through 9th. And it's here in Omaha at the Hilton Hotel versus the Mid-America Center. So basically it's all things Japanese culture in terms of anime, manga, and video games. So if that is, up your alley, you might want to come check it out. You can wear your cosplays.
Yeah. Do you usually go to that, Jenna?
I went to it 1 year. I haven't made it since because, COVID and babies.
Right.
But it looks like fun. And I know I've got a friend whose daughter's really into anime, and I'm kind of sent it their way so that they can go experience that as family.
Nice. Cool. All right. And just a reminder to folks, the D&D movie is coming out soon. Actually, by the time this episode airs, it will actually be out in theaters. So we're going to check that out, and we'll be reviewing that on a future episode as well. So be sure to check back for that. Anybody have any other closing thoughts or comments before we put it in the box? Put it in the
and deliver it
line delivery system.
And this episode is launched at 150 miles an hour out our window to your house, into your head.
Right. All right.
This seems like there's a lot of interesting either shows or technology coming out. So if anyone wants us to talk about that, definitely send it our way.
Yeah, let us know. We'll put it on. So, all right, folks. Well, thank you all for tuning in, listening, and we will see you next time. Until then, get out there and check out some of this fabulous technology, and be sure to check out some of the shows and stuff that we've talked about, and let us know what you think in the comments section. Until then, we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.